So we're going to start 5.2a geometric constraints today. And for those of you who have used Inventor quite a bit, you may be familiar with this already. For those who maybe not, constraints or geometric constraints are basically relationships that get added to the things that we draw or sketch in Inventor. And it's been doing it automatically whether you realize it or not. Right? So when I draw, let's say, a rectangle, draw this on the screen here, notice that these little symbols pop up. Right? So these symbols are forcing the relationship between these different lines. Like this line is parallel to one on the other side. And this corner is perpendicular. And there's a coincidence constraint between each of these edges. So it was doing a lot of this automatically for you, whether you realized it or not. A lot of times it's very helpful. Sometimes it can get in the way. But we're going to talk about how to use the geometric constraints which come up during sketch mode while you're sketching to make manipulations to your drawing. The activity we're actually starting is in the LMS, and there's a Word document which gives you a before and after picture of what we're going to be doing today. So this is our before image, what the drawing file is going to look like, and then once we make the manipulations to the drawings, what it's going to look like afterwards. So we're going to download that file, and when we do, it's going to look something like this. I have to go into sketch mode to be able to add the geometric constraints. So I'm going to double click on the sketch. Now I'm in sketch mode. Notice that the ribbon has changed and I have my geometric constraints available. The goal of the activity then is to basically work through the steps or to do what it's asking or requiring you to do. So this first one here is saying to make the two lines perpendicular to each other. So I need to find the constraint that's perpendicular. And by the way, if you hover over any of these, it'll give you the name. Let it sit up even longer, it'll give you some examples of how that works. So I'm looking specifically for perpendicular, which is this one right here. And I want to make this line perpendicular to this line. Notice that I get the change. I have the little symbol that pops up. I'm done with this one. I can move on to the next one. Okay. So I'm going to work through some of the maybe a little bit more challenging ones, and I'm going to let you guys figure out the ones that are probably simpler to do. Some of them are multi-step. So if I get to this one here, there are several steps in the process that it's asking you to do. It says first to dimension number 3 or circle 3 to 2 inches. So I'm going to use the dimension tool to do that. Select the circle, drag that out, change that dimension to 2. Then it's saying to fix circles 1 and 2. And the fix is the little lock symbol. What the fix will do is it will prevent the circle or line or whatever it is that you're fixing from changing size, so it can't change the dimension, or location, meaning it's not going to move from where it's located. So I'm going to fix the two circles. Notice that they change color because it's fully constrained at this point. It can't change, and that's why the color is changing. Plus I get my two little symbols for the lock. Then it says to make 3, or the circle 3, tangent to 1 and 2. And so I'm going to use the tangent constraint. Select the circles. Do that. And again, you're checking against the kind of after picture. Like this is what it's supposed to look like. So this is what the one I was just working on, and I can check, yeah, that's what I'm supposed to be getting. The only other one I want to do is this one over here. And this one's multi-step, and some of the wording might be a little confusing, so I wanted to cover that. So I want to fix point C, and by point C they mean the circle. They want the circle not to move, so I'm going to fix the circle. Then A and B, I want to make the endpoints of those coincident with point C or the center of the circle. So the first geometric constraint is coincident. I'm going to select the endpoint of line A and the center of the circle. It makes those coincident, do the same thing for B. So I want you to work through each of these. The last step is to add your name at the bottom here. So I'm going to use the text tool to do that. Select text. And I can type that in here. If you want to change the size of the text, you need to highlight it first. Let's say I want to do this maybe 1/2 inch. And it places it on the bottom like that. When I'm done, I'll finish the sketch. I'm going to save this as a PDF. File, save as, save copy as, and I'm going to change the file extension to PDF and hit save. generates my PDF. This is what you're going to upload to the LMS along with the conclusion questions for the activity. So don't forget to do that. So it'll be one PDF with the drawing that you manipulated plus the conclusion questions that are listed here. I'll give you today and tomorrow to work on this activity, and then we'll move on to the next inventor activity after that.